Today, let us understand Advaita Vedanta for what it is. By the end of this video, whether you are a beginner or you are already a student of Vedanta, you will understand the essence of Advaita Vedanta, you will understand the essence of Adi Guru Shankaracharya's teachings, and you will understand the essence of Sanatana Dharma itself. This is so that one can get clarity, purpose, and true fulfillment. Now, there is an important reason for me to make this video. A lot of distortion has happened with the traditional teachings of Advaita Vedanta. When I started studying Vedanta many years ago, I explored different books, different translations, and different teachers. Most of what is being taught in the name of Advaita Vedanta today is a distorted, distilled, and misinterpreted teachings of Advaita Vedanta. The original Advaita Vedanta, which is the essence of the Upanishads, which Adi Guru Shankaracharya taught, which Sri Gaudapadacharya taught, and which is taught by the lineage of Guru Parampara, this ancient tradition. This is the most direct, most effective, and the highest perspective on reality. So today we will understand the original Advaita Vedanta for what it is. And it is said in this tradition that Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. This means starting from God himself, the lineage of Guru Parampara continues and Adi Guru Shankaracharya stands in the middle, and at the other end is my own Guru through which I am receiving this knowledge. So this is an unbroken lineage of Guru Parampara, and this is the backbone of Sanatana Dharma. But it is sad to see that the same original teachings have been distorted in many ways. For example, there are different theories now called Drishti Srishtivada, Srishti Drishtivada, and different explanations are given as in how the world is created within consciousness, the different stages of evolution of the universe, etc., which goes against the original intent and the original essence of Advaita Vedanta. Now, of course, there is nothing wrong in thinking about these things, coming up with different theories, but identifying it with the original teachings and distorting the original essence of Advaita is where I find an issue. Let's first understand what Shankaracharya said. Adi Shankara simply said, Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Napara. Brahman is real, the world is an appearance, and the individual Jiva, who is you and me, are one with Brahman. So technically, Brahman is the only thing that truly exists. The world is an appearance. It ultimately doesn't exist. And even the individual, the Jiva, is also an appearance in a sense. And within himself, he is the infinite consciousness. So, Jiva is Brahman. The world is also Brahman. Brahman is the only reality. And nothing else exists apart from Brahman. This is the essence of original Advaita Vedanta. This is very simple. This is very direct. It is not that difficult to understand. Of course, it is radical. Of course, it doesn't make sense in the beginning because our experience of life is totally different from what these teachings tell us. But at least in theory, it is a simple philosophy. Now let us look at this deeper. Adi Shankara gives the example of the rope and the snake. Just like how a rope from afar, because of our ignorance of it, appears like a snake and we get scared, the world that we are experiencing is appearing as the world, but it is not. It is God or Brahman. This is the simple truth of Shankaracharya. The world is God, but we look at it in a dualistic way. We see separation from the world. We see separation within the world. This separation, this duality is Maya. Maya is simply the misinterpretation of reality. As per the original Advaita Vedanta, there is avidya within us. There is a deep-seated ignorance about the nature of reality and about our true self within us. And because of this avidya, we have an individual perspective. We have an ego and we have the perspective of ego. And through this perspective, we are perceiving this world as dualistic. And because of avidya, the way we are perceiving the world is maya. Now, without avidya, when we look at the world, we see the truth. We see Brahman. And without avidya, when we look at ourselves, we see the truth again. We see Brahman. So, Brahman is the ultimate reality, and all this is not theoretical, but it can be experienced firsthand. It can be experienced through aparoksha anubhuti, through a direct perception of who we are and what reality is. This is the classical Advaita Vedanta. Let's look at how this is misunderstood and it is misinterpreted in different ways. Now, at present, there are different sub-schools within Advaita Vedanta. There is Bhamati, there is Vivarna, and there are other interpretations also. For example, the teachings of Sri Aurobindo vary significantly from the original teachings of Adi Shankara. And even some of the teachings of Swami Vivekananda varies from the original teachings of Shankaracharya. Now, of course, each of these individuals are great beings, enlightened beings, and great teachers. But all I'm trying to say here is the original Advaita, what we call Advaita, is very pure in terms of its frameworks, philosophy itself, and what it says. And that sanctity has to be maintained for that philosophy to remain in its pure form so that it can help millions of seekers across the world. Of course, every enlightened being has their own unique perspective on reality, and they provide some valuable insights on reality, and some of those insights can be really, really powerful for us seekers. I've been studying the works of Swami Vivekananda for some time, and it is really, really powerful. But still, I find the classical Advaita Vedanta of Shankara as the highest perspective on reality. Now let's look at what some of these other sub-schools of Advaita Vedanta talk about. The two sub-schools of Advaita Vedanta disagree on the locus of avidya. Does avidya exist in Brahman or does avidya exist in Jiva? But if we look at the question itself, if we think about the locus of avidya itself, I think we are missing the entire point of Advaita Vedanta. My perspective is, if the source of avidya or if the locus of avidya had to be explained, then Adi Shankaracharya himself would have explained it, because he has composed so many works. He has composed Atma Bodha, Tattva Bodha, Parokshanubhuti, Viveka Chudamani, so many works, and he would have explained and talked about avidya more if it required more explanation. But the nature of avidya is that it is an appearance. It does not technically exist anywhere. That is the point of Shankaracharya's Advaita Vedanta. But the sub-schools have totally missed this point, I feel. And not only this, I also feel the Drishti Srishtivada, Srishti Drishtivada, and the creation of the universe and the consciousness becoming the universe are all not a part of original classical Advaita Vedanta. Like I talked about earlier, Advaita is quite simple. Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya Jivo Brahmaivanapara. And with regards to this, I'm right now studying some of the works of Sri Sachidanandendra Saraswati. And this Swamiji has diligently worked in his life to restore the Advaita Vedanta to its original glory. So he talks about the original essence of Vedanta, and I'll make sure to leave a link to his books in the description. But this is important for us to understand, and this is important for us to be aware of. Classical Advaita Vedanta of Shankara is very direct, it is very simple. Nothing apart from God exists. This universe, the creation of the universe, we can all speak about it through the perspective of the mind. But to Shankara, this is all Maya. This is all a play in consciousness. It is an appearance. It is consciousness alone. It is Brahman alone. But from an individual perspective, it is appearing as the world. From the individual perspective, because of avidya, it is appearing as this dualistic world. Now let's cover some fundamental concepts quickly so that you get the overall picture of what Advaita Vedanta is. First of all, there is Brahman. Brahman is the fundamental essence of reality. Brahma Satya. This is the absolute truth. Only Brahman is, only God is. And this God is beyond all forms, beyond all boundaries, beyond time, beyond space, and it is the form of pure consciousness and bliss. So it is Satchit Ananda, it is existence itself, it is consciousness itself, it is bliss itself, and it is absolute. This is Brahman. Of course, it cannot be defined much, it cannot be talked about much. It is the essence of reality, it is subtler than the subtlest, and it is in essence who we are. Like the Chandogya Upanishad says, Tattvam Asi, you are that ultimate reality. And realizing this is the ultimate goal for each and every one of us. And this realization is called Mukti or Moksha. And then let's come to Maya. Maya is an appearance. How we perceive the world is Maya. Basically, whatever there is here and now, however we are perceiving the world right now, is Maya. Maya is the time-space reality. Maya is the dualistic world which appears to be because of our avidya. So, avidya is ignorance. That avidya is within us right here, right now, because of which we perceive this Brahman as the world because of Maya. If we remove avidya, Maya disappears and we look at the world as Brahman, as it actually is. So, this is Maya. So we covered Brahman, we covered Mukti, we covered Avidya, we covered Maya. And then there is Samsara. Samsara is the eternal, endless cycle of birth and death. If this knowledge doesn't sink in and if we do not liberate ourselves from the bondage of ignorance, then we continue through the endless cycles because of Avidya. We are stuck in an eternal cycle and there is inevitably suffering because no matter how good life is, everything in this materialistic world cannot be perfect. But our nature itself is perfect. So our attention should go there eventually. So this endless cycle of birth and death is samsara. And the samsara causes dukkha. Dukkha is suffering. Suffering happens because of the death of our loved ones, or it may happen because things do not go according to our plan. It may happen because of poverty, because of ill health, because of relationships, etc. So, dukkha is suffering. And karma is action and memory. Because of avidya, when we perform different actions at the physical level, at the mental level, through thoughts, emotions, etc., all of this create a memory and it imprints on us. So, it imprints on the subtle body. So through avidya, we perform different actions and these actions create karma and this karma gives rise to our new lives and the cycle continues. So karma is associated with avidya, samsara is associated with avidya, dukkha is associated with avidya, maya is associated with avidya. So everything apart from Brahman is associated with avidya. So our goal should be to remove this avidya, to come out of this ignorance and recognize the truth. This is the simple truth of Vedanta, of the original Advaita Vedanta. And even through all this, Shankaracharya keeps reminding us in his texts like Aparokshanubhuti that we are here and now that ultimate reality. We are Brahman here and now. We just need to wake up because karma can only bound the one in ignorance, the one in avidya. But we are not that which is bound in our essence. It is as though we are. It is appearing as though we are bound. And because of our own identification with this body, we are experiencing this limited life. So, our job is to get rid of this identification and experience the infinity that truly exists. Now, from many years, I was thinking about how we can make the teachings of Vedanta more practical to all of us who are professionals, who are entrepreneurs, and how can we create our ideal life through the principles of Vedanta. That is when the framework of conscious creation was created, and we also started the Advaita Conscious Society. If you are a professional or an entrepreneur, and if you wish to explore how conscious creation can help you unlock your ideal life through the principles of Vedanta, then you can watch this special training that we have made through the link in the description, and then you can book a call with our team to join ACS. So, check out this important training video that we have created, and I will see you inside. Shivoham.